I give up. I ended up getting out of bed. I woke up because I fucking, after that dream, I ended up doing a bunch of snake research. And I don't know if that was like Spirit's intention or what, but I think instead of a green tree python, because from all the research that I did, they never really stop being bitey, even if you handle them with consistency. Their entire lives, after 8 p.m., feeding time. And they're not super handleable. They have delicate bones the first couple of years of life, and I would want to get one from like a very small age. It might just not be the ideal situation. Like, those are kind of a look that don't touch snake, and I want a snake that's handleable. And that got me thinking about ball pythons again, because if I got another ball python, it wouldn't just be a normal. I would want probably one snake, not a collection like I had before. I would want one snake, and that would just be my snake. And I think back then, when I had a bunch of ball pythons, my pinnacle, my dream morph was the blue-eyed leucistic. And if you Google it, the blue-eyed Lucy, they call them, it's absolutely fucking gorgeous, man. It's pure white. Sometimes it has a grayer head, a grayer top of the head, but they're most of the time pure white. And it's got these brilliant blue eyes. Absolutely beautiful animals. And they're a lot less expensive than they used to be. Last time I was looking at them was a lot of years ago, but they were probably around $800 to $1,000. And now they, the ones that I saw online were about $300. So it's a lot less expensive. The setup itself, you have to factor in. It's probably a couple $100s for a good setup. But I think, and I don't know how soon this is going to happen, but I'm speaking this out because it's what I intend. When the time comes, I'm going to get a blue-eyed leucistic instead of the green tree python. I don't think I'm going to name it Penny. I'll probably think of something different. I was thinking about names though, and I was looking at things like one of the videos I watched, they had like all of their green tree pythons were named after Disney villains, and I thought that was fun. And my sister has she has a red-tailed python named Ka. And she got some other kind of ball python. I don't remember what kind it is. But that one, I forget what she named it. It was something cute. But I'm thinking about names all of a sudden, and my first thought was Nagini, but you know, like I'm hesitant to name things after things that are like violent or dangerous because, oh god, I'm gonna have to tell the hamster story. I had 2 hamsters when I was like fresh out of high school. I wasn't allowed to have any other pets. Hamsters were it. I was like, fine. And I think I got those without permission. I was just like, how about I get these and don't tell anybody? Were they both hamsters? Yeah, I think so. There was a mouse in there too at some point, but I think the mouse was different. I think this was just the hamsters at the time. And I named them Edward and Alice from Twilight. So what had happened was, Edward escaped his cage, broke into Alice's cage. They were totally different enclosures, not connected at all. Everything was still locked up tight. And there's no way they fit through those bars, man. Like, I don't know how he did it. I don't know how he did it. I suspected foul play for a minute because, like, I don't know how he did it. But he snuck out of his cage and into hers. And I know what you're probably thinking. Babies. Not what happened. Normally, when you've got a male and a female hamster and they break into each other's enclosures, there's a love nest, and then there's babies on the horizon, and you've got too many fucking hamsters. That's not what happened to me. Edward ripped out Alice's whole throat. Just... I couldn't look at him afterwards. I really couldn't. I like cleaned everything up. I dealt with the body. I still have this like vision of him just sitting there like looking up at me with like blood dripping all down his face, and I was like, I can't like hold you after this. I can't like think that you're a cute, cuddly creature anymore. I don't remember like who I ended up giving him to, but I ended up rehoming the little guy because I couldn't live with it. I just couldn't live with what he'd done. And from that point on, I was like, let's not name the animals after predators. So I thought Nagini first, and then I was like, she was a pretty vicious snake. Let's maybe not do that. And then I was looking at the Lamia from Legend. But Lamias were like baby-eating, like demon creatures, and like they're pretty popular in most video games. You know, half snake, half woman. Like they're pretty cool. I like them a lot. But we're taking meaning into account here. Names define things. You know, they produce energy, or rather, maybe the souls are drawn to the name. I haven't really thought about that before. The name has power, right? But does the name go to the person? Is the name magnetized to the person? Or is the person magnetized to the name? Anyway, that's a really interesting thought that I'll probably dive into later on. But that led me away from the Lamia. And the Lamias that were named in Legend weren't really super cool anyway. Like the names just didn't sound that cool. And that brought me to the Naga, which I love Indian mythology. But the Naga had a bunch of kings and leaders and things like that were super interesting names. Let me look them up, the ones I was looking at real quick. The two that caught my eye the most were Manasa, the goddess of snakes, and Karkotaka, which was like a transformative Naga, which transformation's our whole deal, right? I thought that was very appropriate. So, male or female, there's a name option, and that's not set in stone. I could always find something else I like more in the meantime. But those are two options. And they aren't overtly aggressive, so there's that. But that's what I've been thinking about. Blue-eyed leucistic, what I would name it. And what kind of enclosure it would have. Because I've gone all out in the past. For my first snake tank, we ended up taking these like colorful tiles. They were very small, like that big. And we ended up tiling the entire backside of the tank. And we created a homemade waterfall with like a pump and tubing and 3 tiers, and it was really cool. It was a terrible first draft that we didn't think through all the way because we ended up using bamboo and we didn't seal it, so it ended up rotting. But it did create enough humidity and a very cool effect in the tank. And I think if I took a lot of those design elements that I worked so hard on back in the day and restructured and re-implemented them in a much more intelligent way, I think I could create some truly fantastic scenery in a snake tank. And ball pythons are friendly enough most of the time that you could like have them out and about with you and just hang out while you're watching TV or while you're doing the dishes or what have you. They don't like certain smells. They might get aggressive towards certain smells. Like snakes are known to dislike alcohol. If there's alcohol on your breath, that can lead them to strike. But largely, they're pretty passive, friendly creatures. And I wonder if that dream's intention was to line us up for the next incarnation of the spirit guide, this familiar. I've seen a lot of crows lately. I've been thinking about making friends with the crows. I talked about this before, but I need to get peanuts and bird feeders and make sure that they see that I'm feeding them. But that's my plan here. I don't know why this is coming up now. I don't know why this is what's next for us. But we're looking at bringing in these spirit guides in a more intimate way, in a more physical way. When the stars align, when things are correct, when you line up, your soul tribe is magnetized to you. Your soul tribe isn't always people. Sometimes it's animals too.
Maybe somebody needs to hear that.